Path 16. The Hierophant. The 16th path of wisdom connects Chokmah and Chesed and is associated with the Hierophant card. The Hierophant card is a lot like the Devil card because both show a false prophet who is oppressing two people. The Devil holds his right hand in the form of the Hebrew letter Shin, which was done as part of the priestly blessings in the Old Testament. The Hierophant holds his right hand in the form of the Trinitarian blessings of the Orthodox Christian Church. The Devil card represents the false Jewish leaders of the synagogue of Satan, Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. And the Hierophant represents the false Christian church, Revelations chapter 13, verse 11. The card is named the Hierophant, which was a priest in the mystery religion in Egypt, but the image is of a Roman Catholic priest or a pope, symbolizing that the person is something other than what he claims to be. The high priestess sits between the pillars of Boaz and Yakin, which are the names of the two pillars outside King Solomon's temple. The high priestess sits at the doorway to the holiest of holies, where the Ark of the Covenant was stored. In contrast, the Hierophant sits between two imitation pillars, not marked with a B nor a J. The magician points one hand towards heaven and the other towards the earth, demonstrating that he serves God openly and acts as a conduit or a representative of God on earth. In comparison, the Hierophant has one hand towards heaven and directs the other to a scepter, or his own power. Instead of serving God, he is redirecting the power back to himself. He wears a triple papal crown, a three-barred cross, and three crosses on his clothing, which are references to the doctrine of the Trinity that was forced on the world through the Orthodox Church and the Roman Empire. The book of Revelation warns that the Church of the Beast, or Antichrist, would have the appearance of a lamb, but would speak as a dragon. After the destruction of the temple, Ezra had a vision of the eagle of Rome being replaced by one with three heads, and this beast would correspond to the fourth beast from the book of Daniel. Both Ezra and John agree that the false church would be headquartered in Rome. At the Hierophant's feet are the keys to the kingdom, which Yeshua symbolically gave to Peter after he made the good confession. However, the Catholic Church has since claimed that it now possesses these keys, by claiming that Peter baptized the first pope and passed the keys on to the Catholic Church. The version of the Hierophant in the Rider-Waite deck provides several clues that the Hierophant represents the false church, and its path connecting to the Sephir of Wisdom on the Kabbalah is a reference to the need of believers to use discernment to identify false prophets and teachings. However, like all tarot cards, there is more than one way to read each card. Its interpretation will primarily be based on its context and where it falls in a tarot spread. The card can also be interpreted in a positive manner as representing the oral law of the Jews, or as the Church of Christ, in which all disciples are considered to be part of the royal priesthood. Of the 32 paths of wisdom, this path represents triumphant intelligence, which refers to the believers having received mercy at the Sephiroth of Chesed, which means mercy, allowing the person to continue up the tree of life, knowing that his or her sins have been forgiven, and that he or she remains in a covenant with God. The Hierophant could also be interpreted as representing Jesus Christ, or Yeshua, the Messiah, who is said to serve as our high priest in heaven, following his ascension. The Hebrew letter associated with this path is Vav, which means nail, and its attribute expressed in the Sefer Yetzirah is hearing. Hearing refers to the oral tradition, or those who are able to understand the Word of God. Yeshua was nailed to the cross before becoming high priest. The lesson in this path is to discern the true church, which is made without hands and consists of an invisible body of believers. From the false church and the doctrine of men, the number of this path is 16 and be calculated as 7, because 16 is 1 plus 6, which equals 7, and alludes to Nesak as one's victory over death.